Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of Counterpick, a League of Legends analysis talk show. My name is Greg Gerg7Adler. Very excited to bring this first episode with you. It's going to be talking about a bunch of different topics related to League of Legends, related to LCS, related to everything esports. It's going to be a good time. And with me, along for the ride, is, oh, I was muted on Discord, so Sean didn't hear anything, but the stream heard it, and it was a great intro. So with me today, for the first episode, is none other than my co-host, Sean Menbong Shannon. How is it going, Sean?
Hey, how's it going, Gerd?
Good. I'm glad we got this finally going. So as you can see, we have 10 topics we're going to talk about today. We're going to have 2 minutes on each topic, so give or take about a minute each of us. If there's people talking in chat about a topic, we'll stay a little bit longer on it. We're willing to kind of make it happen. So it'll be a good time. We're going to go through, give our opinions, our thoughts, and hopefully have some disagreements. I'm sure we will. All right, sweet. So we're going to start off, I think, with our strongest topic here. I'll introduce the topic and then I'll start the timer. And you can go first in this one, Sean. So TSM here, obviously in the quarterfinals playing Clutch Gaming, ending up losing the series 3-1 in arguably one of the biggest collapses, embarrassments in TSM history. So wanted to talk about this here. TSM, is this the biggest collapse ever in their history, or is it just a bump on the way to Worlds?
I think if you want to talk about expectations-wise, it's probably right up there with their first failure at Worlds with like Doublelift and the rookie Biofrost year, or even last year's Worlds. Having like the really easy group and everything. And then here getting presumably the easiest team in a lot of people's eyes in playoffs. But it sucked watching it. But I think that I think it's probably the best thing for them to happen, especially for this iteration of TSM. So I think while it is a huge collapse because of expectations, I don't think it's going to hurt them too much.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I do think it is the biggest embarrassment in TSM history. I think this is, not the biggest embarrassment. It's the second biggest embarrassment. I do think it is obviously very frustrating for all TSM fans out there, but I heard something the other day that was Immortals didn't even make playoffs in the spring split. And then they finished second in the winter split. And then in the spring split, they finished second, and they made it to Worlds.
Yeah, in spring split they didn't make playoffs, and then
Is it spring and summer? It's spring and summer. So spring they didn't make it, and then summer they made it and got second, and they made it to Worlds. So honestly, I'm not really too worried. I think TSM will start to figure it out. I think the teams were very strong in general, and I think Clutch is a strong team regardless, and I think it sucks. But it's not the biggest embarrassment ever. I still think their Worlds collapse last year was. But anyway, sweet. Alright, let's go on to the next topic. What is Rob saying is not true? About Immortals?
Either Immortals or Big Anime Titties not being number one.
Okay. So, second topic. I'll go ahead and start this one off here. So, Zven is number one. So this is kind of off of TSM. What are our thoughts on that? So I'll start this one off here. So I still think Zven is a top 380 carry. I think he's the best AD carry in North America. That's my opinion. I think that it's very hard to compete on TSM. Coming from G2 in EU, to be honest, there wasn't a ton of competition, and I think he was just used to dominating. So coming to NA and expecting to be like the best of the best, like you're replacing you're on the greatest NA dynasty. You're on the greatest team. You need to produce. You need to show up and produce. And I think in that series against Clutch Gaming, Clutch just didn't really have any expectations. Everyone's like, oh, they're just gonna get stomped anyway, and they came in and just honestly played better and picked better overall. And so, with that being said, Zven being the number 1 AD carry, he's out for vengeance now. He's trying to climb. He's trying to get his mechanics back together so that he'll come back next season and TSM will just dominate. Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with like most of what you said, because like I feel like there are other good ADCs over in Europe. Him and Mithy though had just been together so long, and like the play style of Europe, so like they were more accustomed to that play style. I just think this is him. Like, this is the way he's dealing with it. Some people, like, want to get away from League. And for him, it's, I want to grind out and show people, that say I'm shit, that I'm not shit, and everything like that. I mean, because they were winning matchups that they shouldn't have won when he was spamming Ezreal and lane and everything like that. He's definitely a top 3 AD carry, easily top 2, in my opinion. But it's good to see this. You also don't see, at least in NA, in my opinion, you don't see a lot of LCS players anymore play solo queue and spam it as much as you used to. So it's good to see that. Hopefully others follow suit to try to make it more competitive. It'd be good.
Yeah, I still think he's not the problem. Alright, so going on to our next topic here. So this one will be Sean, so I'll go ahead and introduce this. So we were debating this earlier, so we think with TSM, C9, and CLG being out, and there obviously being a new split champion for the first time ever, what are your thoughts on NA at MSI, and then going into Worlds? We'll go about that after. What are your thoughts on NA going to MSI with the remaining teams? Do you think they have a chance?
I think that if you're a fan of freedom and patriotism and everything that's good with America, that you should root for every team that is not named Echo Fox. Echo Fox will get completely smashed on the international stage. Huni and Dardoch have a very simple yet effective playstyle that works in North America that will maybe work in a couple games against international teams, but they'll, in a best of series, they'll get completely smashed by international competition. And that bot lane is atrocious, so I don't even know if they'll be able to get, out of like one like random best of 1 game. I think the strongest team right now, obviously we still haven't seen how they look in playoffs and a best of series, is 100 Thieves, and then Team Liquid and Clutch are right next to it. So you gotta have one of those. I think that 100 Thieves and Clutch have the best staff remaining for an international event, and a lot of people might think that the best players remaining for an international event are Liquid, but that yet remains to be seen. See how they do against Echo Fox.
See, I to be honest with you, it really doesn't matter to me because I think they're just gonna lose no matter what. I think in the end, Korea's just gonna win. I mean, there's no way they're gonna be able to beat KDX. Yeah, I mean, imagine Clutch Gaming versus KDX in a series. I mean, it would just be a total stomp.
Versus Solo Man? You don't think that's even?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who makes it, and that's kind of unfortunate for me. I think the most important thing is Worlds at this point, and I think most of NA, most of the world knows that. We'll see. Maybe someone can make a crazy run, maybe Liquid with trading. Part of me wants to see Clutch Gaming just because I feel like they're wild cards, and I feel like Fabiven's been there and he knows the world stage.
Just to pick up off that, I think Fabiven. And then also, I want to see how Apollo and Haka will do against international bot lanes, and see if like Lyra somehow, like against higher competition, like actually matches it. And if it's just the team, the way that he plays, that kind of like holds him back, or who knows?
Yeah, Rob's saying Fabiven having good international stage.
Every
record.
Time
I don't know what he is, but I know he always does well.
Yeah, he was part of the Fnatic team. when they made semifinals. He solo killed Faker a couple times at MSI, I believe, or maybe that was Worlds as well. But he's got really good international stage exposure when he has been in the international stage.
All right, sweet. So our next topic is EU franchising. So I actually announced today, actually. EU will be imitating NA, and that they will be having 10 franchise teams starting next split. Is it next split or the after?
At 2019.
2019. So it'll be next year. So it'll be exciting. Teams will start buying out. I forget what the amount was. It was something like
it's 1.5 million.
1.5. That might be. That sounds about right, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
So. Sean, let's go ahead and start with you here. What do you think? What do you think about franchising? Are there any teams that aren't going to be making any Immortals?
I think that this is really good for EU. They're all getting like a $36,000 pay raise, all the players and stuff like that. So it's huge. And I think if you look down, like Fnatic's like the TSM, so they're going to make it. G2's probably going to make it for sure as well. I think Splice has to make it. In my opinion, they're like my darling EU team. And I think Schalke for sure makes it. And then Unicorns is like, that might be the Immortals over there because it's got like this huge fan base that's been, but it's been built along for a long time. So just kind of comes down to that. I think the one that a lot of people will be surprised to see is Giants will stay there because they want that demographic of the Spanish team and the Spanish organization. I don't want to see Vitality there anymore. I like H2K as an organization, but who knows if they stay. Rich is still a part of that, or Rick, I think his name is.
All right, so I think UOL stays. I think there's no way with their fan base that they're leaving. I think they've been around for a while now. Immortals was only around for only around for 2 splits before they got rid of them. UOL doesn't have an Overwatch team, so there's no real competition there. I think all of their money is going directly into that, so I think they stay. I think Origin might find a way back in. Wouldn't be surprised about that one. I think XPEC is a good face in the scene. I think they have money to spend, depending on the team they can get. Because you got to remember, it all shakes up when they do this franchising. Everyone goes everywhere. I think Giants is gone. I don't think they have the money or the branding, and I think Vitality is gone. I think they don't have the money or the branding. I think the rest stay. I think it comes down to money and what other teams they have, and obviously the rest are there.
So if I was to name these 3 teams, SK Gaming, Gambit, and Roccat, because Rockat's still in it right now, and if Roccat leaves, I think that's the biggest travesty. Like Rockat's been a mainstay forever, but between SK Gaming and Gambit, who do you think comes back in, or do we see like a Lemon Dogs resurgence or something? Or Millennium is a French organization, so
I think there's still. I don't think we have to limit it to that. I think you have to open it to professional sports franchises too. I mean, you have to look at Schalke and kind of what they've been doing there, and look at other soccer franchises to maybe follow suit and spend the money.
Yeah, like Real Madrid and.
I mean, Riot's looking for the cash. That's what's very obvious.
Barcelona. I mean, they have a lot of interest over there with those football.
So I think you have to look for possibilities of that before maybe SK and all of them, because they're already invested in so much. I mean, they're looking for professional sports organizations to get their first experience in esports in League of Legends. So, all right. Now, off of the LCS topics and onto the League of Legends topics. So this one is about Warwick and solo duo queue. So I've actually seen a bunch of people talking about it on Reddit, and I have an opinion about it, and a lot of people do too, that Warwick is very strong in solo duo queue, and the only reason he has not been nerfed is because he's not seen in competitive. That is a theory out there. So I'm going to go ahead and start with you, our resident Warwick main. What are your thoughts on this one?
God, he needs some buffs.
He needs some buffs, yeah.
Yeah, no. Warwick's really strong in the early game, and his W, if you max it, which you should, it's really strong. He's got really good early skirmish potential. His E is really strong for damage reduction, and everything like that. So yeah, him going untouched is kind of like what? But like I think there's been other problems in nerfing and buffing that have needed to be addressed. The whole Kaisa thing, Zoe, a bunch of different things. The whole mage update. There's like a docket and stuff, and now like you got the Irelia and Akali reworks coming and stuff like that. So I don't think he'll see a change for maybe 2 more patches, and as long as it's not affecting like the jungle pool in professional play, I don't see him getting any changes soon.
See, I feel very strongly about this one. I feel like he needs. I agree with you. I agree that he won't be seeing the changes soon, but I think he desperately needs them. He has a 55% win rate right now. I think the biggest problem for me with him is that he's easy to play. So at all elos, he's gonna do well because for the most part, he's a pretty straightforward champion, not too complicated. And he has that high of a win rate because he's just so easy to play and has such good sustain, such good engage. He has everything, and I still legitimately feel they have not nerfed him because of competitive, and I don't think they're going to. I think they just think.
I mean,
that
if you look at all the other like junglers around him that with the same win rate, Shaco, Nunu, Aatrox, Udyr, the highest one that's seen LCS play is 52%, and that's Jax.
True.
But with the new Conqueror Keystone, which we'll get to here in a second, his win rate has gone up.
I feel like he definitely needs to be touched. I think if they reduced the passive movement speed he gets when he uses his W, seeing people under half health, like maybe early ranks might be a good nerf. Because I think that he's just able.
I think the problem with nerfing him in the early game is that if you do it enough, it'll just gut him because that's where his strength lies. You talked about it, him being a simple and brain dead champion, and I've mentioned to you that like if he doesn't get a lead going, well, he's screwed.
Yeah.
General Dill in the chat brings up Kha'Zix and Jax are more busted and brain dead.
Well,
Kha'Zix is actually way more of a problem. There is no reason why I should be able to put a pink ward down and then for him to run by me and then just attack me and then I'm like 3/4 health. I think people should be more upset about that because those are like in mid-game skirmishes too, or like your mid laner's pushing up and you can't see the guy that pops up right next to you. As a mid laner yourself, I feel like that's more frustrating than a guy who's just chasing you down because you're low.
All right, so going to the next topic now. Another one that could argue is very frustrating is the Conqueror Keystone. So let me go ahead and get these exact stats here on it. But it does a lot of true damage. I've been seeing it on a lot of bruisers, just got released. We've actually been seeing it on a lot of junglers too. So it's drafting or receiving damage generates 1 stack every second for the next 3 seconds. After reaching 4 stacks, your next basic ability within 3 seconds against an enemy grants 10 to 35 true damage based on your level. Or excuse me, for 3 seconds and converts 20% of your damage to champions to true damage. So 20% of your damage. So go ahead, Sean. What do you think of this Keystone? Do you think it's strong? Do you think it's in a good place? What do you think?
A good place for it to be is where it was a week ago and not in this game. I hate this dang Keystone. It is so strong. People, and it's melee champ only because it's like, oh, I don't want a comet coming down. That's not manly. We need a manly Keystone. I'm looking at you, Hashenshin. This crap right here for your Jax that you want so badly and stuff. Now that Fiora that was fucking you in lane is gonna fuck you even harder because not does she only do true percent damage, she gets more true damage from this because obviously the best way to balance a Keystone is to give it true damage. I hate this Keystone.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's great. I think it's exactly what top lane needed. I think that it basically turned into a situation where if you were Maokai with 3 items or 2 items, you just never die ever. The whole the Sunfire Cake Bramble Best joke that Shinshin's all about. But I like it. I personally think it's fun. I don't really have to deal with it too much because I am mid lane and it's more seen in the jungle and top. I think there's only certain champions in the jungle it's strong on. Obviously Jax being one of them. Maybe Warwick. I've seen some people actually running it on Warwick, interestingly enough.
I'll just say this. you say it doesn't affect you, but when you're in your solo queue game or your duo queue game and your top laner continues to die just because they're both going Conqueror and one of them happens to be a Fiora who's using it properly and the other one's a Darius who doesn't know it. This never happened, by the way. This is just hypothetical. And then he goes 0-6-1. That affects you because one guy's actually better than the other. And that's Ascension's whole point, is that skill should be rewarded. But this Keystone does not reward skill. Just get in battle enough and just like hit each other's faces enough, and then it happens, and then you get true damage.
I think it rewards staying in fights a while, and it gives bruisers a chance to do damage even when people just build tank. Alright, so now, speaking of things that are still obnoxious, and Conqueror being obnoxious as well, going on to Rageblade Jhin. So this is actually a pick people have been talking about lately. It's been all over Reddit. Basically, because he gets the damage boost from his passive, and then he would get the boost from Ginsu's, he would be able to just get tons of true damage on you, a ton of movement speed. It basically seems like a super strong item. Specifically on Jhin, I think you go third pick, Infinity Edge, into something else, into Rageblade, or you do it second. I could be wrong. So, do you think this is something we could possibly see in competitive? What do you think, Sean?
I think we won't see it from LCS players because they're not on this patch yet until MSI. So there is some time. We may see it in the LCK and LPL playoffs, though.
Are they going to be on a new patch?
They'll be on 8.6 for playoffs in LCK and LPL. Playoffs for EU and NA are still going to be 8.5. And they have Kai'Sa enabled over in LPL and LCK. But I think we might see it. I think the thing that's still weird is the build path of it, especially for someone like Jhin. But luckily it's not like Blasting Wand anymore. It's not the Amp Tome. Mm-hmm. So your power, because since it's not like a first item power spike, we won't be seeing like maybe the likes of like Varus and Kog'Maw as much anymore. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So maybe Jin's priority was already shooting up, and he already had these buffs on it. So maybe I think we can probably see him.
Have we seen him played once in an ALCS yet? Yeah, we have.
Yeah, Doublelift spammed him.
I think. Do you think people will play Ginsu's on it now that they've been playing it?
Yeah, I think it's possibly, but I don't think they'll do it on the LCS stage right now because it's still old Rageblade.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting though, fun build path. All right, so on to number 8, Kai'Sa roles. So Kai'Sa recently being released, seeing a buffs recently. Making her a little stronger, increasing her attack range, her damage overall. So we've seen her in a bunch of different roles. We've seen her AD carry, we've seen her mid, we've seen her jungle. What do you think is the best role for Kai'Sa, and why?
I think it's jungle. Mainly because while they did buff her range, she still gets like outranged by even like ADCs by Lucian and stuff like that. I think also that the Blood Razor enchantment on her is like so good. Like it combined with like her passive of like percent health, like missing and everything like that. It's just nutty. Like I think you could probably go like 3 or 4 items and almost solo Baron by yourself if you have enough life still. I know it's like capped on monsters, but it's pretty damn good. And Rageblade on her as well.
Yeah, I think jungle's the best role for her too. I think she's a little overtuned right now, and I think she'll get tuned back a little bit. I think she's definitely in a very good place. It's funny that General Dill, F this champion, remove her from the game. I think he said remove like for everything we've talked about tonight. Dill doesn't like the direction Rito is taking the game. But yeah, I think jungle's the best role for her. Maybe mid. I tried her on mid. I actually did pretty well on her. She's not that hard to play, but she's fun. Okay. Now, do we see her in LCS?
We'll see her at MSI. They're already playing her in LCK and
And they're
LPL.
playing her for they're playing her?
Yeah, like
Jungle?
they're playing her like pre-buff.
Jungle?
They're still on 8.5. No, ADC. Only ADC players. Reckless is spamming her
Interesting.
in solo.
And she'll be live at MSI?
Yeah, she should
Hype.
be live at yeah.
Alright, cool. Next, number 9. Ultimate skin. So recently, Gun Goddess Misfortune being released onto the servers. There's been a lot of debate going around the community saying that it is not of the ultimate skin status and that the price being charged for it is not applicable to the quality of the skin, and that Riot needs to analyze their choices again and come through and release the skin again to be more appropriate to the price. So I'll go ahead and so Funky Sal's in chat. So shout out to Justin Funky Sal for designing this overlay for us. It's awesome. Thank you very much, Justin. You the man. Appreciate it. All right, so I'll go ahead and start this one off here. I actually think the skin is up to the standard that it is set at. I think the forms look different but cool enough. I think the animations all look different but cool enough, and I think it's worth the price that it's at. I think that they are going to set a standard soon where their ultimate skins need to be absolutely, completely, crazily different, or people won't justify. I mean, it's like, what, $25 for one skin?
Yeah.
So it has to be different enough and unique enough that you justify spending $25 on it. And I do think the Misfortune skin is worth it. But it is funny. I have not seen that skin much since because usually with ultimate skins, people play the champion a lot, but I haven't seen much of it, so.
Yeah, well, and also most new skins are like accompanied by buffs, and like Misfortune really hasn't like received any buffs like indirectly or directly. But at the
She
same
did
time,
just get buffed in this last patch. I think they
really?
increased like her 0.1 in AD. I think it went from like 0.2 to 0.3 or something. Yeah, it's a buff. It's a buff. But yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
okay.
I agree.
But like nothing to make it like, hey, you should totally play this really strong champion now. By the way, we have a new skin.
Right. Right.
I don't think it's like. I mean, I think it's cool. I think the chromas make it cooler, but then you have to purchase those as well.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I don't think it should be as much as it is. I also don't think Misfortune should have got this damn skin. She has enough already. I think ultimate skins, there should be like, Riot should like, instead of just saying, oh, ultimate skin for this one, like they should have like a thing, like either every, because like this is the second ADC or whatever that we've had.
No, it's been Udyr, Sona, Misfortune,
Ezreal.
Lux,
Ezreal.
Yeah,
so it's the second
you're right.
ADC
Second AD
we've
carry.
had.
You're right.
Yeah,
Forgot about Ezreal.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah.
But like have a way that they do it, or like a reason why the champion gets it, or something like that. I think that'd probably be a better way about going.
I think all they need to say is cha-ching. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So on to our last of normal topics. Is going to be number 10, voice chat. So Riot actually released in-game voice chat for League of Legends, specifically only for your pre-made games. It works the same as Discord, where you can be voice activation or push to talk. It cannot be used with teammates. So do you think that's a good thing that it's in the game, Sean? What do you think about voice chat?
I like it and I don't like it because they released this at the same time as they did like this open party thing, and when someone joins your party and you don't know and you actually are connected to voice and you're talking about something or singing because you're just in your own room, it gets kind of weird. I think having it only with like your party is fine. I hope that they kind of open it up to like everyone just gets it in game, even if you're just solo queue. But who knows? And then you just mute people when they're like, "Oh, you suck." But that I think it's a step in the right direction. It's a long time coming.
I think they should have just enabled it for your teammates in games. I think it's ridiculous that it's not. It's like playing Overwatch. It's like playing like any FPS, any other games like this. You just mute them. They're annoying. You mute them. That is the reality of it. I think it's a step in the right direction. But the people that were using voice chat before are just continuing to use that medium of voice chat. The people that use Discord are just going to use Discord. No one's going to switch over just because it's in the game now. But people would use it if it would allow you to talk to your teammates. I know for sure I would. If I was on Discord with you and some dude's like, hey, what's up, guys? I'd be like, oh, hey, what's going on? I think it needs to get there.
Jungler's coming top for the 10th time. I know you haven't warded, but he's on his way.
Yeah. Now instead of just pinging at them, you can yell at them on. Yeah. Now I'd like chat to imagine a tilted Menbong in your next ranked game yelling at you over voice chat.
Can you imagine? You know what? Contrary to belief, I think that if voice chat was enabled for everybody, there would be less toxicity and people's ELOs would go up because you'd stop typing.
Right. Yeah. The people that would be too scared to say it over voice,
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that's it for our main topics here. So now let's go on. Let me go ahead and do this. So now what we're going to do is something that we're going to call hot take. So this is very similar to Pardon the Interruption and what they kind of do at the end of the show. So we're going to have 1 minute, and we're going to talk about 6 topics that Sean and I came up with. We talked about this a little bit beforehand, but not too much. So it's all going to be new for us. We're going to have 1 minute to talk about all 6 of them. Sean will just introduce one at a time. Sean's got a kitten in there. He's watching a kitten for the next couple weeks. It's going to start scratching and biting him mid-stream. It's having a... Yep, exactly. Sorry. So anyway, so we're going to go ahead and put up the first 3 here. I'll get the timer. So I'll go ahead and introduce it and then get it going. Alright, so number 1, will SKT run the gauntlet? Sean?
No, they will not make it past KT. I think there's no way.
I think they go all the way. There's no chance. I think Faker hits playoffs, it's all the way. Number 2, is Liquid guaranteed MSI with C9, CLG, and TSM being out?
No, they're not guaranteed it. They still have a lot of flaws in their game, and they can either be the 4th team to win the LCS split or still finish 4th, and I'm hoping for finishing 4th.
Yeah, they're doing it. There's no chance. Anyway, number 3, does TSM make changes in the offseason without joining championships?
If Reggie does, he's lost a fan.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think they need to push it all the way through, and I think they will. Number 4, who is to blame for C9's loss?
Reapered.
Yeah, Reapered, and I think Jensen too. I think Jensen didn't look very good at all. Number 5, Febiven, is he the best remaining of the mid laners in the playoffs?
I mean, he was a top 2 mid laner going into it, so yeah, he's definitely the best now that Bjergsen's gone.
And I agree. And last one, who you got? Liquid versus Echo Fox, 100 Thieves versus Clutch Gaming.
God, my heart tells me that Clutch is gonna somehow, make it. But if I'm going like actual predictions, I predict Team Liquid 3-2 and 100 Thieves 3-1.
I said Liquid and Clutch. I think it's gonna be. I think Clutch upsets 100 Thieves. I don't think 100 Thieves is meant for the playoffs. We'll see.
Did you know that we're assured to have 1 new org in the finals, which is pretty cool for the first year of franchising.
Yeah, that's great. 1 new team winning it all too. So pretty cool.
Crazy, man.
All right, sweet. So if Chad has any questions, we could talk about some stuff. But that was our first episode. We'll maybe do it weekly, see what topics we can come up with depending if there's a new patch or LCS. We'll probably do it maybe like on Wednesdays. We'll just keep people updated as it's going. Oh yeah, I do have a question. Figure we'll talk about it with my poster in the background. What is your favorite iteration of TSM?
Oh man, my favorite iteration of TSM, probably the one that won IEM Katowice, which was, I believe, Santorin and Hanser? No. Lustboy, right? That was the Lustboy, right? God.
Yes.
Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, because, he did the... Yeah, that
Dyrus,
iteration...
Santorin, Bjergsen, Turtle, Lustboy.
I think that's my favorite, personal iteration. But, like success and team-wise, it was last year's. But this one's growing on me really, really fast, so...
Number 1, that's Dyrus, odd one. Reggie mid. Turtle X special. And then number 2 is the current iteration right now. I really like them. I like Sven and Mithy a lot. I think they're strong players, and I think it'll be a good feature. So, to answer Panda's question, are there going to be other panelists? Yes, there definitely will. Maybe we'll do some LCS segments, talk to people about their team and stuff. We'll have some fun stuff on here, depending on what we're talking about. But yeah, there will be, and that'll just be TBD. Cool.
Yeah.
You got anything else, Sean?
If you are interested in wanting to join the little mock draft for NALCS franchising, we have a couple slots open. Just shoot me a message on Discord or anywhere. Find me on Twitter at Sean_E_Shannon.
Sweet.
Dude, we gotta do plugs.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you guys have any feedback, feel free to shoot me a message. You know where to get me. This has been Sean Membung Shannon and Greg Gerg7 Adler. First episode of of Counterpick. Thank you for tuning in. I saw Hot Take and I was like, Hot Take, that would be a good name for the show too. But thank you for tuning in. First episode of Counterpick. See you guys later.